It is Monday and I am back in the office. I was in Camden this morning and then back in the office in Morristown to see some clients in the afternoon session. Put out a blog article on Friday regarding Antonio Brown and his excuse me his situation in in New Jersey initially, and then it'll be eventually end up in Florida. Mr. Brown, for those of you who don't know, is a former NFL player. Well, I've done previous blogs on purpose of the blog isn't to embarrass him or to cause any type of public judgment of him, but simply to explain the case in the sense that what's happening right now in the case from a legal perspective, and also to give my insights in terms of the process moving forward and what would happen if this matter was in Pennsylvania and New Jersey. I always draw a correlation between the matter when it makes national news, wherever it is, and what would happen in Pennsylvania and New Jersey. So, Mr. Brown, back in June, a warrant was issued for his arrest for attempted murder in the state of Florida. Obviously, very, very serious charge. The story kind of died. He actually went allegedly to Dubai and stayed there for a little bit. Actually, it's my understanding, did some podcasting there or whatever. Eventually, the US Marshals were able to locate him, and he was taken into custody in Dubai and given over to US authorities there, taken back to the States by way of New Jersey. It sounds like they landed in New York. In the airport there from Dubai, and he was taken to the Essex County jail, where he waived extradition to the state of Florida. So, for those of you who don't know, if you're arrested in one state and another state wants you, you have a right to fight the extradition. It's really, in most cases, very pointless to do that. So he waived that hearing, and now he'll be brought into the state of Florida. He will have to pay. He'll have to repay the cost of transportation that it cost the U.S. government to go get him in Dubai, as well as bring him back to the States and also transport him from New Jersey to Florida. So at the end of all this, he will have a fairly large bill from both the federal and the state governments, both the Florida government and the New Jersey government. But I think that's the least of his problems given the charges here. With that said, he's going to have a bail hearing in Florida. The bail procedures in Florida are similar to Pennsylvania and New Jersey in the sense that the judge there will use similar factors, risk of flight, and dangers to the community. Now, he does have a criminal history. I don't believe it's enough history to argue successfully that it's a danger to the community. I believe that an attorney can successfully argue that his history isn't random acts of violence. These are acts that were caused by some alleged provocation. And it wasn't like he was searching the streets and committing random acts of violence. His history, therefore, appears to have just a history of kind of isolated incidents where he allegedly knows the person involved in the incident, or at least has some type of relationship, um, albeit short. And the other factor, risk of flight, now that's a situation where I think his attorneys will have an uphill battle given the fact that he was taken out of Dubai and he has probably a little bit of money left from his NFL career, probably did very well for himself, has the means to travel. And perhaps his prosecutors are going to argue that they don't, even if they take his passport, he still has the ability to get out of the country and he's facing serious charges. He's not facing life. So the argument that he's not entitled to bail will not hold water. But obviously, the judge has the ability to set very, very high bail, and he can also impose various restrictions that will make it almost impossible for him to really live very freely, but nevertheless not be in jail. So I do believe he will receive bail in the case. I think it will be very, very high bail, but I think he will post it. It will probably also have to be monitored on an ankle monitor. I believe that they will put those in place. They will also probably take his passport. But I believe that his attorneys will be able to argue that he's not a flight risk. The judge is probably going to hold him pending some mental evaluation, only because there's possibly an argument that he's not of sound mind, and perhaps he's doing this because of some mental issue. And again, it could also go to the argument that he's a danger to the community. And while he wouldn't be necessarily in a county facility, perhaps he should be in some type of mental health facility given his alleged erratic behavior. But again, those are the factors. I'm going to link in the blog article that I wrote on this topic. I think it's a very, very good blog article. It lays out the difference between New Jersey, Pennsylvania. Now in New Jersey, we don't have cash bail. There's a pretty much the same system, but they use the same factors. There's a public safety assessment, but the judge either releases you or holds you pending trial. Pennsylvania and Florida still have the cash bail system, which I actually think it isn't as fair as New Jersey's, because people can obviously people of means can just simply post it, while a person who doesn't have those means cannot post it, and a person's basically being held because they can't afford to bail out. So once again, if you have questions, 215-755-9000 in Pennsylvania, 856-793-7429 in New Jersey, the website gamboandlaw.com. As always, a tremendous resource for you and your family. All of my books, my blogs, my videos are available there in one convenient format. So once again, 215-755-9000 in Pennsylvania, 856-793-7429 in New Jersey. Have a great Monday. Have a great week. And I'll talk to you all very soon.